So let's talk about Aerith first. So in the remake timeline, 100% she's dead in the remake timeline. The reason I believe this is because people always forget, but the directors, the developers themselves, they confirmed most of the major scenarios and the major events are going to be the same. I would consider Aerith the tragic fate she has. I would assume that's a major event. Not only that, the Bronco scene right at the end, that was very like a touching moment. They wouldn't ruin that moment. She comes out of nowhere saying, "Hello, I'm alive, I never died." It would ruin that moment with the Bronco right at the end of Rebirth. Her dying is a very important plot point in the story, so she's 100% I believe is dead. But she probably is alive in other timelines, but that is for now. She might be alive in other timelines, but eventually, I believe in every other timeline, she's eventually going to die. What supports this as well is that I feel like fate, she can never avoid it. It's like, it's going to eventually happen. The characters that died in the original game, they also died in Remake and Rebirth. Like Wedge, for instance, we thought, no way, he survived. That does not happen in an OG game. Next you know, he falls from the Shinra building. He dies in similar fashion as well in the OG game, where he falls from a high top platform. It looks like it was worse than Rebirth. It looks like he fell from a high distance, which is a bit snide. I feel like Wedge deserves better. He gets the worst and the most gruesome death in my opinion. But same with Biggs. When Zack tried to save Biggs, what happened? Biggs eventually died. He got shots in Zack's timeline, but we don't know how he dies in the remake or the OG game. We'd assume it was also he got shots because he was probably going against Shinra soldiers. So Zack tried to save Biggs, but what happens? He dies. Because why? Because fates. That's why he has to die in the story. Eventually, the characters that died in the original game, they will have to die in a remake trilogy. This is something nobody talks about, like how fate always inevitably happens.
Fate's got one twisted sense of humor.
No matter how much they try to avoid it or change it, the events will still play out the same as the PlayStation 1 game. Speaking of Aerith, every Aerith encounter we have, every exchange we have with her, she looks worried or sounds worried. Like there's some hints of it in every dialogue. A lot of it's hidden, some of it's quite more apparent and more obvious. And I say each Aerith because I feel like there's different Aeriths we met throughout the whole game, not just remake timeline. I feel like there's an Aerith from the Zack timeline, from the OG timeline. I feel like we come across each one. Maybe not each one, but we come across more than one Aerith. I feel like each one looks worried, and I interpret this as like she's feared of someone or something chasing her, or she has these visions of her dying in the Forgotten Capital.
So this is where you've been hiding, in a world that has accepted its fate. Just as you must.
Because there's one timeline we've seen where she's running away from supposedly Sephiroth. Sephiroth's trying to call out to her, trying to look for her. But besides that, she still holds like a positive attitude towards Cloud until the very end of it. So every Aerith scene knows they're gonna die by possibly the hands of Sephiroth. And maybe Sephiroth is trying to go to each reality, each verse, and just wipe out all the Aerith. But one thing that's confusing, that one particular scene where Sephiroth opens the church doors to chase Aerith, he puts down his Masamune sword, so that's a bit different. In OG, she was stabbed straight through the chest by Sephiroth. But in Rebirth, he puts it down, so does that mean he kills her in other means? Or does that mean he needs to capture her? Or he needs her to live for some certain reason? Another thing with this concerned expression that Aerith always has, or secretly, conveys, or tries to hide a lot of the times. The remake, at the very start of the game, we see her praying, and then she gets concerned, looks to the right, and there's no one there and she runs away. This happens in the original, but not her running away, it's just her praying. But her running away could either be from the Sephiroth or the Whispers, as the Whispers are trying to remove her memories. And at that time, at the start of remake, she had all the memories. She had the memories of the meteor, the possible events that happened to her, tragic fate that she has.
But she dies.
Marlene, are you sure you didn't just have a bad dream?
No, I saw it.
Can you tell me what this scary man looked like?
His hair was long and gray.
is one thing I need you to remember. You have to keep Aerith safe. I don't remember what's supposed to happen, but I do know she's in danger.
And this will explain why she's always praying. We would assume she's praying for the planet, but maybe she was praying from the start of the game for her friends that she hasn't met yet. So at the start of Remake, she hasn't met Cloud, anyone yet, except for Zack. So maybe she was praying for them, as she knows that's what she has to do, as she got the visions of the future of the meteor. And towards the later stages of Rebirth, actually it might be even the early stage of Rebirth, she has forgotten those memories of those visions of the future. Same with Red.
This doesn't leave the ride, okay? It might sound crazy, but back in Midgar, Aerith and I could both see the future.
Well, that would explain a lot. I'm guessing you can't anymore, though?
Nope, not even a bit. Whatever we had, I think the Whispers took it from us when we left.
Huh.
It seems Arbiters of Fate can do whatever they want.
And Aerith explained it's because of the Whispers. Every time the Whisper touches her, part of her gets taken away, that being the memories.
I could feel them slipping away one by one, and the tighter I held on, the more I lost.
I know. I felt the same. It was like they were sucking them straight out of my head.
And the worst part is that I don't even know what's missing. Only that something is. Like it's on the tip of my tongue, but I just can't remember.
Damn Whispers.
Speaking of, you seen them lately?
But in the Bronco scene, she explicitly says, I'll put all my effort into the prayers to stop the meteor. How does she know the meteor? How does she know it's gonna get summoned?
I'll put everything I've got into my prayers. I'll stop the meteor.
At this stage, Sephiroth doesn't have the Black Mesa Cloud is, and we don't even know if they're gonna summon a meteor. Sephiroth might fail. We don't even know at this stage if that's gonna happen. But the Bronco scene, she just says it out loud, spoiling for everyone, even those who haven't played the OG game. So I believe this Aerith is the one in the live stream that has all the visions that was not taken from the Whispers. Only Cloud can see and hear her. And it's not just her that gets some of these visions. When we fought Arbiter of Fates and Remake, we've seen these visions as well, especially the meteor and the Aerith's, white material falling off. But the whole party was confused except for Aerith, as she probably had these visions many times before, and probably has more. She probably has more information regarding these visions and memories. I consider these as future memories. Aerith now is in the same position as Sephiroth. You know how Cloud occasionally only sees Sephiroth, only hears Sephiroth, and it's only Cloud in the party that can do that. That's why everyone's always confused, like, what do you mean Sephiroth? Where's Sephiroth? But only Cloud sees it. But now Aerith's in that same boat, where Cloud can only see Aerith and only hear Aerith, which means there must be some sort of link between Aerith and Sephiroth if they both can do that. So I believe both of them are in the live stream conversing with Cloud. They're both trying to manipulate Cloud in some way. Of course, a black materia for Sephiroth's favor, and then for Aerith, I'm not sure, maybe just to encourage him to find a white materia. We'll probably see Spirit Aerith in the Forgotten Capital when we visit later down the line. She'll probably play the same role as like Joker from Arkham Knight, just being in Cloud's mind, but nobody can see him or nobody can see her. But we probably won't see her for some time, only because she said her farewell. She said she's gonna stay behind. She said bye to the party before they, took flights. But that's what I interpreted Aerith's position right now. She's basically in limbo in the live stream. But which Aerith is that? I don't know if it's a remake one. I don't know if the soul of the remake went into live stream already and now it's talking to Cloud. It could be Aerith from a different realm, different timeline. As all of them are so strongly connected to the planet. Editing Kuro here, just want to interject. So I find this scene very fascinating right here, where when Aerith just about to die and get shanked from behind by Sephiroth, a new timeline emerges. So a new timeline emerges right here when Cloud realizes Sephiroth's coming down. And again, we see the rainbow effect right here, implying a new reality, a new timeline is made where Aerith survives and lives. What they're trying to show is like the will of the character. They're strong enough, they can stop the canon events, but ultimately it just forms a new reality. It doesn't stop the current time that they're in. This scene is also identical when Zack tried to save Cloud. He was in that dilemma of where to save Cloud or where to save Biggs. But when he went to save Cloud in that one path, the other path lit up in a rainbow imagery, again representing a new timeline being formed. And it looks to me like because Zack's will to save both of them and doing both was so strong, he formed a new reality. It might sound cringe or sound very anime, but it looks like that to be the case. That Cloud and Zack are definitely special, considering they're the only two that were in different timeline, different reality, to the point they were fighting together in a realm between all worlds. So now this scene right here, we see two reality, one where the rainbow's in the background and another reality where the rainbow's not there, implying there's two different realities, two different timelines. Scenes where the rainbow is present is where Aerith lives. There's no blood anywhere. Aerith's eyes is open. If you look at Cloud's hand, there's no blood either. But the one without the rainbow effects in the background, like here, Aerith is dead. There's blood on the floor. Cloud has blood on his hands. Aerith's eyes are closed as well. So these clashing of visions right here, basically what I interpret is different timelines are superimposed upon each other. Again, it's informing us like the timelines are converging, coming together.
Of course, this is only the most recent in a series of crises. Multiple reactor bombings, followed by the fall of the Sector 7 plate, caused by a massive tornado which swept through Sectors 0, 1, and 2, perpetrated by the infamous insurgent group known as Avalanche. Of course, this is only the most recent in a series of crises. Multiple reactor bombings, followed by the fall of the Sector 7 plate, caused by a massive tornado which swept through Sectors 0, 1, and 2.
If you look here, bottom right, there's blood on his gloves. In the background, there's no rainbow. So this is the real scene we see, where the party comes late, meaning Aerith is actually dead. So when the rainbow's in the background, there's no blood on his gloves, meaning she's alive in this reality. Again, this scene, when the rainbow's in the background, Aerith is alive, she's moving, and there's no signs of blood. So this is where it gets a bit confusing. So this is Barrett's point of view. There's blood just below her on the floor. Her eyes are closed, so she's 100% dead. Then we see Tifa's POV, where she gets two visions. One where the blood is there, and another without the blood. Here as well, blood on the arm, and there's no rainbow effect in the background. Again, suddenly the blood disappears from Aerith's arm, from blood to no blood. Again, the scene where Aerith's alive talking is when the rainbow's again surrounding him.
I got this.
But pause it right here. If you look at the party members, who are they looking at? They're looking as if Cloud is non-existent. It's like he's not there. See right here, they're not even looking at Cloud. They're looking at Aerith's dead body. Because the Cloud doesn't exist right now. Cloud's in a different space as shown by the rainbow effect. Looks like the rainbow effect is like a domain. It's like in Sephiroth's domain expansion right now, where it's showing a different reality and only Cloud can see it. And the only reason why I think Cloud can only one that can see it, because he's the only one that entered the Destiny Crossroad that was formed for him. Like in Remake, they all entered Destiny Crossroads, and so they all get visions of like different timelines, like Meteor and Aerith dying. But now this time, in this case, it's only Cloud entered, and so he's getting the visions only. If you look here as well, you can kind of see where the rainbow ends, showing one side where what Cloud can see and the other side where the party can only see. I feel like if Barrett or Tifa Yuffie, if one of them took a few steps closer, they might be entering this realm right here. But I feel like it's only specific to Cloud.
However, you'll never see the truth with such clouded eyes.
Shut up!
Even here, if I pause it, you can kind of see where the rainbow ends. It's like a dome. The right side, there's no rainbow effect, but the left there is. Like a vicinity that Cloud only in, and only Sephiroth can see this Cloud, but the party cannot, because it's a different reality. So the following scene, after, you know, going through the onslaught of bosses, the party arrives, and who's last to enter? Who's last to arrive? Last person to arrive is Cloud, which is funny, because the scene before, the scene prior, he was there. He was there in a different reality that's shown by the rainbow. But a reality where there's no rainbow, as in the real timeline. So this reality, which is the reality we play majority of the game, Cloud comes in late. So this one here, Aerith 100% dead. There's probably blood on the floor, we can't really see from here, but her eyes are closed. And as soon as you enter the vicinity again, the rainbow effect appears. or reappears. Boom. And there's no blood this time. And as soon as Cloud lifts her up,
Aerith. Wake up.
her eyes open again as if she's not dead in this reality, wherever this reality is. So in Cloud's mind, he's seeing both realities at once, which is why he sees Aerith alive at times and suddenly she's dead. So it's really messing up with his mental psyche. This shows Cloud is very different and very special, besides Aerith and, you know, Sephiroth. The only other two is Zack and Cloud that can, you know, enter different timelines and see different visions. This seed is very important. If you look, his barricade is stopped by the Black Whispers. So it wasn't letting anyone in besides Cloud. And if you look, Cloud commands the Whispers here. He legit controls them for the split second. As soon as he says Aerith, he tells the Black Whispers to go and open the door and make an opening. And he even tells the Black Whispers to move the White Whispers away. That's it. Destiny Crossroads is like the remake. But this time only Cloud enters. This scene he definitely did command the Whispers momentarily. Why? Why is it that special?
Just as worlds unite, so too do they part.
Just as worlds unite, so too do they part. But who's to say they can't unite again?
やれやれだぜ。